Kinsey, we're going to kick off this afternoon by talking about William and the fact that he was a no-show at the BAFTA Awards. I mean, he did pre-record a message. Of course, he's president of BAFTA. It was the 20th anniversary of the Rising Star Award.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a bombshell royal update that has everyone talking. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are under fire yet again, this time facing harsh criticism from both the public and insiders.
William gave a very nice address to BAFTA, but of course, his absence was quite notable. He was last there in 2024 when he made a solo appearance on the red carpet, because, of course, if you're thinking back to this time last year, Catherine had just gone in for her surgery, her planned abdominal surgery. And of course, they were probably in that period of waiting for those tests post-surgery, possibly didn't realize at this moment that actually she had cancer, but she'd clearly been in for a major surgery. She was in for a 2-week recovery period at the hospital. And so, for William to be on the red carpet, I think was a big thing for him to attend the BAFTAs. And I think there was a lot of expectation that we might see both of them on the red carpet at this year's ceremony. But of course, they were not there. According to the Mail on Sunday, they've taken this opportunity. It's half term over here in the UK. So all of the schools are off, and they've taken this opportunity to whiz off to Mustique for a week. And I think ordinarily, I think this story might have caused a bit of kickback for the Waleses. I think people might have felt that as president of BAFTA, that's a big deal. We would expect to see William. These are annual awards, and of course his presence and when Kate's appeared in the past have always generated so much press and publicity for BAFTA that, of course, as a charity and an organisation, they're deeply grateful to the Waleses for their patronage, and they do light up the red carpet in a way that none of the film stars actually can do. But I think this year, given what a horrendous year it's been for William and Catherine, I don't think anyone really has too much of a problem with them not being there, and I think probably understands that what they need most of all is a bit of family time, a bit of sunshine. And of course, Mustique is a very special place to them, and somewhere where they can get away, they're never photographed, and they can enjoy some special family time. I'm curious to know, Kinsey, what's the mood like over in LA, where obviously BAFTAs is still, you're leading up to, or you're going to be in the midst of award season very soon. What's the feeling like that he wasn't there? Has it bothered people, or are they pretty sympathetic to the fact that he's used this as a chance to take a quick vacation?
Meanwhile, Prince William and Kate Middleton have suddenly disappeared from the spotlight, leaving everyone wondering, what is going on with the royal family? If you love royal news and want to stay updated on all the drama, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Now let's dive in. Harry and Meghan's latest backlash. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle just can't seem to stay out of the headlines, and this time it's not looking good for them. Their latest public moves, whether it's their Netflix projects, political statements, or bombshell interviews, have sparked outrage yet again. Critics are calling them out of touch and attention-seeking, while even former supporters are starting to question their motives.
I think that they are sympathetic towards the fact that this is a family that had a tough year last year, and perhaps they're trying to make up for lost time and enjoy each other in any possible way that they can. It does feel, and I'm not insulting anyone in any way, shape, or form, but when we hear that the Princess of Wales is going to be cautious, that maybe that's the word gradual was used, this gradual return to work. It does feel like a red carpet might not be a priority if she is tiptoeing into getting back to work because she wants to keep up with her health, mental strength and physical strength after such a horrific cancer scare. So I don't know if anyone expected specifically Catherine to be there, but I don't think that they're disappointed by the lack of Prince William. I do think that people would be surprised to know how much.
Contrast this with the Sussexes' approach to public engagement.
Catherine and William love entertainment. I think that they do enjoy sitting down to a good movie and a good TV show. So it makes a lot of sense to me that this is one of Prince William's causes that he does sincerely care about. It's just they wanted to spend some time with their family, and who can blame them after last year?
I think you're absolutely right. And I think you raise a really important point about the whole red carpet scenario. And when I'm thinking, as you're talking about, I'm thinking of the Princess of Wales at the Bond premiere when she was in that fabulous Jenny Packham gold cape dress. The times that she has walked the red carpet for film premieres and indeed for BAFTA. And, she just knocks everyone else off the front pages. And of course, for BAFTA, that is a priceless moment. But I think the point you make is an important one because it's not like we haven't seen her back at work in recent weeks. And while the palace has billed it as a gradual return to work, actually, it's felt like a pretty significant return to work. I've certainly been filing lots of stories about her going to the National Portrait Gallery and taking a minibus with a load of school children to go and take them on a trip during Children's Mental Health Awareness Week. She was visiting a prison up in Cheshire last week to learn more about mother-baby units and how better as a society we can support incarcerated mothers or mothers with children or mothers who are about to become mothers in the prison system. Quite I would say quite gritty work, very important work. And obviously it all ties in very much with Kate's early years campaign.
The couple's attempt to reshape their public image seems to be backfiring in ways they never expected. Could this be the beginning of the end for their Hollywood dreams? Royal family's response, or lack of it? Here's where things get even more interesting. Buckingham Palace has remained completely silent on the latest Harry and Meghan controversy. No statements, no responses, just radio silence. This has led to speculation that the royal family has fully cut ties with the couple.
And so I think she's been very, very busy. And we've also had that story. I know there was a bit of a U-turn with the palace, but that story about how she wants the focus to be on her work and not her wardrobe, even though Kensington Palace are now saying we will be told details about her wardrobe as and when it's significant, which is, I think, the way it should be. But the point is, she left this time last year when she was about to embark on a number of really important projects. And I think there's a sense about her that she really wants to pick up where she left off. And if we're going to see her, I don't necessarily know if she wants it to be about the red carpet and the glamour and the dresses. I think she wants it to be about her important work. And of course, remember, it's William who's patron of BAFTA, not Catherine. And I wonder if they were both in the country, whether she would have attended. I think it's pretty unlikely. So I'm pleased the reception is one that generally people are behind them. They haven't had a holiday together for a very long time. And this is, as you say, going to be very, very important family time. But the other lovely thing that happened at the end of last week, of course, it was Valentine's Day on Friday. And this was something that we haven't seen before, was Kensington Palace acknowledging that and releasing a lovely photograph of William and Catherine. It was a still taken from that beautiful video that was shot in September to announce that the princess had come to the end of her course of preventative chemotherapy. And actually, Kinsey, I have to say the still was one of my favourite moments. It was them sitting, I think they were sitting on a tree trunk and, looking at each other, and as William sort of leaning back and giving Kate a kiss. And it was just a lovely, natural, candid moment and a beautiful shot that they decided to release for Valentine's Day. And I thought how times have changed really quite a lot recently in that the prince and princess are really letting us into their lives. They're really showing us a much more intimate and private side of their lives. And I think when you consider love, and of course Valentine's Day is all about love, that's a word that's come up a lot in their narrative. It's something that Kate has spoken about a lot, the importance of love and being loved, how it's love that's got her through. Love and empathy. If you were to ask me what two words are really synonymous with her on that whole cancer journey, it's love and empathy. And I think that really came across in that Valentine's picture. I don't think it was anything sort of too overly, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think it was too much. I think it was just perfect. And I think it was a lovely nod to Valentine's Day. And I think people always enjoy seeing these two as a couple.
Okay, two questions. A, if you were a courtier 20 years ago, what would your reaction have been to the suggestion of a prince kissing the Princess of Wales? What would be your reaction to this public display of affection? Because I feel like 20 years ago, this would not have happened. And I don't know why. And B, Did you see Catherine's earlier sketches with the children, and did you think one of those sketches looked remarkably like Cher?
So I think that the what would how would this have been received 20 years ago? Well, I actually think, 20 years ago, that sort of a kiss between the then Prince and Princess of Wales would have been wonderful because, of course, the marriage was in an absolute disaster. And that was actually what anyone wanted to see was Charles and Diana happy together. I think, it's lovely to see this couple so clearly in love. I think it's very obvious that going through this journey has changed Catherine and William's perspective. And I just think we're seeing a far more a far more open couple who are willing to share a lot more. And of course, Kinsey,
choosing to completely ignore them rather than engage. But is this strategic or is something bigger brewing behind the scenes? Prince William and Kate, where did they go? Meanwhile, Prince William and Kate Middleton have vanished from public view. Their recent absence has sparked wild speculation. Are they taking a break, dealing with a private crisis, or is this a calculated move?
they know how important social media is. When you consider that demographic, which tends to be very young people, those are their future subjects, and therefore it's very important that for the Prince and Princess of Wales engage with them. They know how powerful a medium it is, and I'm not sure they're always so comfortable with it, but I think on this occasion it probably came from them, and I think they have been very grateful to the public for all the support that they've got, quite overwhelmed by many of the messages of love and support that they've both received in this past year. And I think when there's an opportunity to sort of give something back, they're quite keen to do it.
So sweet, yes. Let's jump to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle now. This is a story that broke towards the end of last week, and this is an investigation by the New York Post, where they say that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have I'm quoting them, funneled hundreds of thousands of dollars to controversial political operatives through their charity Archewell. Now, Niall Gardner, who we've discussed so many times in the past, he represents the Heritage Foundation in their quest to have Prince Harry's visa details, his visa application released to the public, has called for Archewell's donations to be scrutinized by Congress. He said Harry and Meghan still retain royal titles and should not be engaging in any way in political activity. It's actually outrageous. One of the donations, their biggest donation, was to Ashley Biden, Joe Biden, the former President Joe Biden's daughter, for a women's wellness space that is based out of Pennsylvania. Harry and Meghan responding, saying the Heritage Foundation's claims were unsubstantiated. And they really just thought that this was, I guess, the Heritage Foundation going in for round two, feeling that the Heritage Foundation has more of a political agenda than they say that they do. I guess I would ask you, is this a risk you take when you decide that you want to be independent of the royal family while maintaining titles? And have you seen anything else like this in the past, where somebody is loosely associated with the royal family and their politics get them in trouble because of that association, any sort of association with the royal family? And our assumption or our expectation that if you are associated with the royal family, you're expected to stay, non-biased.
Some reports suggest that Kate has been dealing with personal health matters, while others hint that the couple is preparing for a major royal shakeup. Could this disappearance be a sign that the monarchy is making a huge shift? What this means for the future of the monarchy. With Harry and Meghan under fire and William and Kate keeping a low profile, the royal family is at a crossroads.
Politically neutral. Well,
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen anything like this before, and that's because for the most part, the members of the royal family do remain politically neutral. I mean, the king is a politically neutral head of state, and that's something that filters down the hierarchy as well. I think it was very interesting I think it was around the time of the last election campaign when Harry and Meghan were, seemed to be quite political, and there was quite a kickback from that. I mean, obviously he's not a working member of the royal family, so he is able to do what he wants. But I think in this last election campaign, I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, Kinsey, but it felt like they were a lot less visible. They didn't put their heads above the parapet in the same way that they did in that last election campaign. And I think that's because regardless of being non-working royals, they still don't want to get embroiled in politics. Now, I'm still convinced that one day we might see Meghan running for presidency. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But I think they've been wary of getting too involved. They want the focus to be on being in humanitarians rather than anything too political. And I think they've just perhaps had their fingers burnt a little bit in the past. So that they will want to avoid, I think, as many political issues as they can. As for the implications for Archewell, well, I think that is more concerning. This case with the Heritage Foundation doesn't seem to be going away. I mean, last week we were being told, well, I mean, Donald Trump himself said that he wasn't going to go after Prince Harry because, frankly, he's got more important things to do. And of course, he made that pretty derogatory comment, didn't he, about, he's got enough on his hands with that terrible woman. So the suggestion being that Trump's not going to go after them over this whole issue of over Harry's visa and whether or not he lied on his visa application and therefore whether or not it should be revoked. But the Heritage Foundation don't seem to want to give this up. And, it's a story that continues to run. I think Harry's going to be hoping that it's going to go away because he's got enough legal cases coming up. It's not like he needs another one over his visa.
Yes, and I also saw over the weekend that someone connected to the Trump administration told the Daily Mail that if Harry did lie, they would consider prosecuting him. So it's like another flip-flop, somebody says one thing and then we hear another. So I agree with you that this story is very far away from being over. The judge that initially said, no, we're going to keep this private, now saying, well, we'll add a few redactions and perhaps we'll release potential pieces of this application. So it's just no solid answer so far. I'm getting whiplash from the back and forth, and it is a bit exhausting. Do you think that having seen that this has now become an issue, that there might be a change in direction for Archewell where they might distribute money in another direction so that they can honestly say, well, look, we're not just funneling cash to Democratic causes?
Some experts believe this could be the moment that determines the monarchy's future. Will King Charles step in and take control? Will William and Kate return with a powerful message? And most importantly, where do Harry and Meghan go from here? One thing is certain, the drama isn't over, and the royal family is playing a long game. Call to action. This royal drama is far from finished, and we'll be keeping a close eye on every twist and turn. What do you think is happening behind palace doors? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you stay updated on all the latest royal news. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.